Hi, this video is to show you how to work on the problem 3 on page 33 about the MRP parts explosion. And we're going to use this example, and this is the bill of materials for one product, product A, that is composed of parts B and C. We're going to work only on the higher level in the problems, only in the products, like the higher level, the finished products, in this case, product or part A. And here is the piece of information we're going to be using to answer this problem. Okay, you can read the problem and understand that we have to calculate a material plan for 8 periods using this piece of information. Some of this piece of information come from here and some you have to compute. So I used an Excel to place here the information that is given in the problem and the information that is given in the problem. This is information that you have to compute. The highlighted one is the one that you have to work on. Okay. So I start placing here the lead time. So the lead time is 2 periods. The safety stock is 10 units. And the lot size is 30 units. So every time I produce a lot of 30 units. I need to maintain 10 units in safety stock. And the lead time between production and releasing is 2 weeks. Okay, so let's start entering the piece of information here. So for gross requirement, I need 40 in week 4. So I need 40 in week 4, and I need 100 in week 7. Week is given within the parentheses, and the units here. Okay, so it's 100 units in week 7. And then I have a current inventory of 20 units. And then this current inventory is also the projected available inventory, because you're going to start with the current inventory of 20, and we're going to project how much inventory we have in each one of the weeks, because we need this piece of information to know how much we need, like in terms of requirements. Okay, and then we have a scheduled receipt. We're going to receive 20 units in week 2, 20 units in week 2, and 20 units in week 6. Okay, and we are going to use scheduled issue of 10 units in week 3. So this is all the information we have, and now we're going to start solving this problem with the net requirement, the plan order receipt, and plan order release. Plan order receipt is called plan order proposal in our class notes, but is also called plan order receipt. I'm going to use 2 formulas from our slides, this one and this one. I'm going to use them to solve this problem. Okay. All right, so let's we with the net requirement. Net requirement for week 1, there's no net requirement because we don't have any gross requirement. And we already have the current inventory. Let's move to week 2. No net requirement because we don't have any gross requirement, but we have to compute the current inventory. So the current inventory for week 2 is equal to everything that I have from the previous week, which is here, plus everything that I received this week, week 2, plus any plan order receipt, again, everything that I received, minus everything that I used in terms of gross requirement and other scheduled issues. Okay, so 40. Week 3, we don't have any gross requirement, but we have a net. So because we don't have any gross requirement, we don't need the net requirement. We can compute the current inventory by simply copying the formula, which gives us the available inventory. Because we used 10, we had 40, we used 10, we don't use anything else, we don't get anything else, so the projected available inventory will be 30. Now we have a gross requirement of 40. So how much my net requirement will be? My net requirement will be equal to my gross requirement minus my previous inventory, minus, which means the previous inventory is what I have at hand on week 4, minus anything that I get it in terms of schedule receipt, plus everything that I'm using as schedule issue, and also safety stock. Okay, so that's my net requirement. I need 20 units in week 4 to match the gross requirement of 40, because I only have 30 as current inventory, and 10 of them is safety stock. So I need 20 to match the 40 needed. So to get the 20 in week 4, I have to have a production plan order being received by me in week 4. So how much is the lot size that I'm going to get? I'm going to get 30, because that when I produce 30. But this tells me when I'm going to get the units. However, it takes two periods to produce these 30 units. So I have to release a production plan order in week 2. So I have to release a production plan order of 30 in week 2 in order for our production process to be ready to send to me in week 4. Okay, now I can come here and compute the current inventory. If I move here, my current inventory is going to be 20. How is that happening? Is because this 20 is everything that I have in the past, 30, plus anything that I got in terms of scheduled receipt. I didn't get anything, but I got 30 in plan order receipt. So it's 30 plus 30, 60, minus my gross requirement of 40 is 20, minus anything else that I had to use. I don't have to use anything else, so I have a current inventory of 20. In week 5, I don't have any gross requirement, so I don't need any net requirement. I can compute again my current inventory as 20. In week 6, I don't have any gross requirement, so I don't need any net requirement, so I can move on to increasing my projected available inventory to 40, because I had 20. I'm going to receive another 20, so my current inventory will be 40. Now I have my gross requirement of 100, and I have to compute my net requirement. So my net requirement will be equal to my gross requirement minus everything that I had in the past, or everything that I have available in inventory coming from the previous week, minus anything else that I have to produce in terms of anything that I have to receive in schedule receipt, plus everything that I have to use in terms of scheduled issue, plus everything that I have to remain in safety stock. So this is how I compute my net requirement. So my net requirement is 70. I need 70 units in week 7 to be able to match the gross requirement of 100, because I have only 40 at hand at this time. Okay, so this is my net requirement. So my net requirement is 70. I need to get units here in my plan order receipt for week 7. I only produce lots of 30. If I produce one lot of 30, it's not enough to match 70. If I produce 2 lots of 30, it's 60. It doesn't match 70. So I have to produce 3 lots of 30, which means 90, to be able to match these 70 units. Okay, this is when I have to get the units. So I have to release an order of 90 2 weeks before. So this is how we compose this. And now I can compute my current available inventory, which means what I had in the past, plus everything that I have received, minus what I used as gross requirement. Okay, and I don't have any gross requirement in week 8, and then I don't have to compute the net requirement. I can simply move on my current inventory for week 8, and this is what we have here as result. Okay, and that's all. We're not going to work on parts B and C, only on part A. That's all.